Hey guys, so it's Nurse Mel. Um, I just wanted to do a video just to give like a backstory on basically why nursing and just like my process into getting into nursing school and all of that. So basically, fresh out of high school, I knew I always wanted to do nursing. My mom was in the hospital. My oldest brother at the time was in the hospital. I have family in another country that are all nurses. Like I have a lot of nurses and medical professions in my professionals in my family, or a few, I should say. So, like, I was always interested. I always wanted to help people, give back, all that good stuff. So fresh out of high school, I applied to a school in Long Island, Long Island, New York. So I'm gonna reference New York a lot. I'm sorry, but I'm from New York City, the Big Apple. Um, yeah, so I left my hometown city, whatever you want to call it, from the Bronx. So I went to school in Long Island, and they had a great nursing program there. So I'm like, all right, I'm going there. It's a good school. It's private, it's pricey, but it's a good school. So I go there, do my prereqs for 2 years, and before you get into the nursing program, you have to take the pre-entrance exam. So I think at the time it was T's. Yeah, it was like T's 5 or something like that. T's. So I took the entrance exam, failed it by 2 points. So I think you had to get an 80, and I got a 78. So so that was like discouraging. Like I was like stressed out. I'm like, dag, like, what I'm gonna do. So they're like, you can wait until next year to take the pre-entrance exam again. Mind you, this is a private school. I don't have next year money. Like I need to, you know what I mean? Either I'm gonna do it now or I need to go to a cheaper school. You know what I mean? I did get a scholarship the first year, but you know, things happened, and I didn't have a great, like, I would have to take out loans. Like, it was a lot. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. So this is my sophomore year. So I already did 2 years. So this is my sophomore year. So I'm looking at schools, state schools, state university schools. So those are cheaper schools. And I'm like, okay. I think I spoke to like a director or somebody there, and I told them like, hey, I did basically all my prereqs. Like, I'm just trying to get into the nursing program. They're like, yeah, absolutely. We take transfers. You can transition smoothly into the nursing program. You know what I mean? It wasn't, from what I remember, I don't think they told me there was an entrance exam. So you would kind of just get into it. So I'm like, all right, cool. Perfect. So I go to the school all the way upstate New York, which was by Canada. So I get there, and I'm excited going to the nursing program. Sophomore year, so I could do bang out 2 years, do 2 more years, and then graduate. So I get there and I speak to the director of nursing, and they're like, yeah, so you would have to start back with the freshmen. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, no. I'm like, nobody explained this to me. Like, I traveled all this way to dorm and go to school upstate, and nobody explained this to me. So, this was, I'll say this is back then when I was kind of like a little slow. Like, I feel like I should have did, like, now looking back, I definitely should have did more research. And now I don't play with things like that. Every little thing I'm researching, I'm doing what I need to do. But at the time, they're like, yeah, you would have to start back from freshman year. Mind you, I'm a junior at this time. So to me, I'm like, I'm not going to stay in college for 2, 3 more years. Like, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to get out. Like, I already had some loans, and I'm like, no, like, so ultimately, I ended up graduating with a social work. It's actually human service, but I just say social work just to keep it short and simple. So I got my bachelor's in that, and I got a job, did that for a couple years, and in my heart, I'm just like, like I really want to do nursing, but I'm like, it's kind of like too late. So like I was literally like applying for my master's, and I was applying for like MSW programs to, I guess, become a licensed clinical social worker, because I'm like, all right, at least I'll kind of be in the hospital. Like I know I wanted to help, and I wanted to be in the hospital and in that type of environment. And then I don't know, something just told me, like, God is just like, if this is what you want to do, like, you got to invest in yourself. You have to take risks, you know what I mean? So, I prayed and I'm just like, okay, God, like, this is really what I want to do. And, I'm just going to have to take the risk, like, whatever that may be. And I'm just praying that things just fall into place, no matter the obstacle, you know what I mean? I'll just do it. So, I pretty much kept my I had like a case management position. So I was doing case management. I was a supervisor at the day hab, working with individuals with disabilities, developmental delays, autism, all of that. So I was doing that while finishing off. I had maybe like 3 more prereqs. I had to do AMP2, micro, and chemistry. So I was doing those classes while I was working my case management, supervisory positions, all that. So I did that for 2 years, and I was applying to nursing schools. So I'm like, okay, I'm ready. You know, so the important thing when you're applying to nursing schools, I feel like you have to narrow it down to like maybe like your between top 3 to top 5, because every school, like, you need different things. So different classes. So I narrowed it down to, I think I had like 4 schools that I wanted to apply to, because all of those schools required the prerequisites that I already have taken. So like some schools, you might need organic chemistry, you might need genetics, you might need biology, like, you know what I mean? Like, each nursing school is different. So the classes that I had A&P 1, 2, I had statistics, I did take genetics, because the first school I went to required genetics. I did take organic chemistry. The first school that I had required that too, but the schools that I applied to didn't require that. I did apply to a couple, what is it, ABSN program, those advanced programs where if you already had a previous bachelor's, it will be like an accelerated bachelor's. And I did apply to that. I think like 2 schools. I applied to, I think, a regular 4-year school, where I think I would just do like 3 years or something like that, because I have a bachelor's already. So I applied to a few schools, and honestly, I got denied to all of them. So I'm over here stressed out, like, I'm just like, Lord, like, if this is not your will, then, I guess it's not it. You know what I mean? And I remember this like literally like it was yesterday. So it was I think it was like November or something. And I was talking to one of my good high school friends, and she was an advisor at Hunter at the time, and she was telling me about different schools. And then from the schools that she gave me, I found a school, which is a school I graduated from. And literally, this was, I think, November or October, something like that. And I was literally in the last, like, when I found the school, they had like the deadline. So I literally applied that last week of the deadline. Like, I'm like, God, like, if this is your will, like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And then I literally said, if I don't get accepted to the school, then God, you didn't want nursing for me. And, I just gotta live with that and take that course. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So then I want to say, I think they started telling people if they got accepted like November or something like that, like late November. And they called me, and I got waitlisted. So I'm crying right now at this point, because I'm just like, like, I guess it really isn't for me. I did apply like before I graduated with my bachelor's and my human service degree. Fresh out of high school, I applied to a lot of CUNY schools, which are city schools, and like all of them waitlisted me. So to me, waitlist just means you just not gonna get in. You know what I mean? Like, they say, oh, maybe next semester. To me, I'm from the city. It's a large volume of people. There's a lot of people here. So I just feel like if I get waitlisted, that means y'all not about to take me. So when that school was like, you're waitlisted, I'm crying. I'm like, okay, I guess this wasn't meant to be. Literally, I think it was the same day, like 2 hours later, the lady called me back, and she's like, yeah, so you're accepted. When I tell you, that was the best feeling, like, ever. Like, it was the best feeling. Like, I was crying tears. Like, I'm at my job at my cubicle, and I couldn't even finish doing my work. Like, I'm talking to one of my good friends, Fiona, one of my a good friend now. She was actually my coworker at my old job, and I'm like crying, like, oh my god, like I got accepted to nursing school. Like, it was such a long, like, like I'm tearing up thinking about it now. And I'm like, oh my god, it was such a long journey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, having to graduate, do a whole nother career field, knowing that you always wanted to do nursing, like, it was such a great feeling. So yeah, so they told me I was accepted like that late November, December, started doing my stuff, and I started in January. So I had to quit that management job because my caseload dealing with individuals, and I had to, do visits and go into their homes and stuff. It was in two different boroughs, and which is kind of like towns, and like people that's not from the city, it's like towns. So it's like different towns, and I had to take the train. Barely, I was rarely like driving to these towns. So it would have been too much to have caseloads in different towns and then have to go to school in a completely different town and then do clinicals in like, it was just too much. So I had to quit that job. And luckily I found a more flexible management job where I literally just had 2 to 3 clients, and they were all in the same area, and it was just convenient for me. So that was my story of like, getting into nurse school. I wanted to do nursing. Like, I don't know, I think nursing is just like a amazing career. Like, I haven't gotten to the meat of it as yet, but like, it's just amazing. And I just want to encourage everyone, like, you know what I mean, even if you don't get accepted to those schools that you apply to, like, if that's on your heart and that's what that's what you really want to do, keep applying. Don't get discouraged at all. Yeah, don't get discouraged. And nursing school is literally the hardest thing you would ever do. Like, coming from someone with a previous bachelor's already, when I tell you, like, my human service degree, my bachelor's degree was easy, it was light. Like, literally, I was working you could ask any one of my friends, like, I was working 3 jobs, like, going to school. I was a resident. I was an RA. Like, I did mad stuff, and I was still coming out with A's and B's, for my human service degree. But coming into nursing school, when I tell you that's a wake up call, like, wake up call. Like, fundamentals was cool. I did well in fundamentals. But that med surge, Lord, Lord help me. Like, God was with me. He was coming through in a clutch. Like, med surge was tough. Like, mind you, after my flexible case management job that I got, I actually worked retail also. So that was my second job. So I had 2 jobs during that time. So I'm doing med surge. I am stressed out. You're gonna be crying, like, because you're gonna fail tests, you're gonna pass tests. But like I said, I always say, like, even if you fail a test, like, don't let that discourage you. Don't let you think, like, make you think that you're gonna fail. Like, just keep at it. Don't let that one test determine the rest of your semester, because it can. It will get to your head, and you just take that little thing and run with it. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, just take that test. If you fail, whatever, focus on the next test, and then revisit that right before your finals. Like, go and study, 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 study. Whatever it is that helps you. For me, I think what helped me was I watched a lot of videos. I'm more of a visual audio type of person, and talking, I think, helps too. Like, if you do group studies, some people don't do group studies, but I think group studies actually help me, because then you're explaining, and when you're talking, it's just easier for you to retain information. So but what I do warn is, before the group study, make sure you studied. Don't come to the group study and you ain't look over nothing. Like, we talk about regular diabetes, diabetes insipidus, and you don't know the difference between DI and SIDH. Like, get yourself together. Like, make sure you study before you go to the study group, and I feel like it would work wonders. Some people use the notes cards. I only did note cards for meds, honestly. Note cards don't work for me for anything else except meds, because meds is just strictly memorizing. But yeah, so videos help. Rereading everything, like if you have like, I had like notes where like either I would type or write up like the PowerPoints, and I would just highlight. Like I'm a colorful person. Like I like colors. So I would just highlight and read that. And recordings help too when you record the professor. That helps too, especially if your professor is like sometimes it's hard for you to, like, when you're in class you might zone out and you might miss something that they say. So at least if you got your phone like recording it, or a tape recorder, whatever you have, you won't miss something. So the recorder too, that helped. But MedSurg was a tough course. Like MedSurg, because it's like the meat of everything. Like that's like the foundation, that's the basis of nursing school. So it's gonna be tough, you know what I mean? You're learning about all these new diseases, because fundamentals was just your basics, your infection control, your whatchamacallit, what do you call that? Oh goodness, I'm pulling a blank already. Your electrolytes, potassium, calcium, sodium, like all that, like knowing your values, like yeah, all of that. That was fundamentals, which is basic. You just memorize that. But med surg is the meat, so you're kind of just thrown into it. So med surg is tough. So definitely, like you could thug it out. Like you'll be okay. Like trust me, if you put in the work, you'll be okay. Just know that you have to prioritize your time with nursing school, because you won't be able to go. Some people did it. Some people were able to party and turn up, go out. I wasn't able to do that. It is good to go out every maybe once a week or once every other week to kind of de-stress and get yourself back together. Because like I would definitely recommend that, because for med surg I did not do that. I literally just studied and whatever, and I was stressed. Like you could see it on my face. Like I have like a baby face. I look younger than what I am. I have a baby face. But I was stressed. Like my bags were like all the way down here. Like, yeah, because I didn't take that break. But after that, I realized like, all right, Mel, take your break. Go take yourself out to eat or something like that. Go hang out with your family for the weekend. Like, you need a little break in between. So, yeah, med surg was definitely tough. Peds and maternity was okay. Like I didn't have a issue with peds and maternity, but I still struggled. Like throughout all my classes, I was still like on the lower end. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm a slower learner. Like some people could look at stuff. Like people are crammers. Some people cram like 2-3 days before. Like I had a couple friends like that where they'd be like, yeah, like say the test is on Monday and it'll be Saturday. And they'd be like, yeah, girl, like I'm just starting to. I'm like, what? Like seriously? Like I've been studying this thing since the first day the teacher done talked about it, or even before. If I tried to get ahead, like I really did try to get ahead. Like I'll be studying, like because it was probably like 2 weeks in between each exam. I'll study from that same day that they started, the lecture on whatever the topic was on. So, and I still did mediocre, you know what I mean? I think it just took me longer to like get the information and retain it and understand. Like I'm one of those people where I have to understand, and nursing is also, you have to understand. Like you cannot memorize, because you have to know how to apply this information, because when you get out on that floor, it's going to be you, what you know, and how to apply it. You got to be able to assess these patients from the information that you had before. So throughout nursing school, I really wanted to make sure that I was able to retain. And I'm just that type of person. Like I need details, like, and I need it straight to the point. I don't like all the extra stuff. Like some people like, walk around the bush. No, just give me the bush. Forget the whole walk around, forget the pathway. Just give me the bush and the trees and the leaves, and like I need the information. I need the details. I don't need like no long way or anything like that. So yeah, so that was med surg, peds, maternity. Maternity was a little tough for me. The class was tough. I struggled in maternity too. Believe it or not, I'm a female. I know. Struggled in maternity, but I enjoyed it. I struggled through maternity, and my last semester was AMS and Psych, which is literally what I took last year, like September to December. I had AMS and Psych. Psych, of course, was easy. It's definitely an eye opener. Yeah, definitely an eye opener to different mental illnesses, and just people who look like you and me, you know what I mean? I think it's a good awareness, and being able to create that trust and that what they like to say, therapeutic communication. They psych love that. But yeah, and that you see psych patients everywhere. It's not only in the psych facility. So I think psych was very important, and it's a pretty fairly simple class, I feel. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything to worry about there. Now AMS now, which is advanced med surge, or maybe I don't know if all schools call it advanced med surge, but it's just like med surge part 2. And when I tell you that class was the death of me, and that was just like I just did that class, September to December. That class was the death of me. Like, that was a serious class, because now you're learning cardiac stuff, you're learning neuro, like all this stuff. And it was very, very intense, like down to the last moment, like down to my final, like this close, past this close. But I just thank God that I made it through. And I just want to encourage you guys that, you know, although nursing school is like extremely tough, you can get through it. Just put the work, put the work in, and know what works for you. You know what I mean? Some people are just readers. Some people have to write out the information. Some people are audio visual learners. So I think the best thing to do is just know how you learn, because it took me a while, like, to know like how I learned. I think still to this day, like, I'm still trying to figure out like what really really works for me. But I'm kind of figuring it out. Like, once I try to lean more into like audio visual and highlighting, that helped me more than just like reading, like, and also talking about it. But yeah, nursing school is literally all about how you learn, because you really want to retain this information. You know what I mean? Obviously, they want us to know everything. You're not gonna know everything, sis. Like, or bro, like, you're not gonna you're not gonna know everything. But nursing school teaches you everything. I feel it's very, very broad. But I just wanted to just encourage everyone that it doesn't matter how hard something is. If that's something that truly like you want to do, just put in the work, you know? Like I always say, faith without works is dead. That's, you know what I mean? And just have faith in yourself and be confident. Know that you can do this, because I feel like that also plays a role. Like, if you like have a lot of negative talk, that goes against yourself. You know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe I can't do this, and you start really believing that, like, psychologically, like, you really start believing that. So you really want to just believe in yourself and know that you can do it. Everything, you know, anything you put your mind to, you can do it through God. Like, you really could do anything. Like, you made it this far. You done did all the prereqs, or you're doing the prereqs. You know, you done made it through a couple classes already. You done made it through high school. You could do it. Like, if you made it this far, you can do it. Like, that's why I just want to encourage people. Like, you don't have to be a straight A student. I was far from, definitely not a straight A student. So I just want to encourage everyone who is not a straight A student, who think that they gotta be, you know, Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. Like, no, that's how you know how old I am. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? As long as you put the work in, you can do it. Like, and that's with anything. Like, you don't gotta be the smartest person, but if you work hard, you can be the best person. You know what I mean? So just be the best you that you can be, and you'll be fine. So, but yeah, that's my spiel about why I wanted to do nursing, and just like little bits and pieces of like nursing school. If you have any more like ideas on like what videos or what topics you want me to talk about, let me know. And I'll definitely do a video about it. Like, I'm really trying to start this community going, and just encouraging people, and just like day to day. And also, today was my first day orientation, so I'm officially an RN. You know, it's so interesting just to see like your name on a badge. Like, I'm hyped. Like, I am hyped. So today was my first day, so I'm super excited to officially be a RN, you know. And I've just been so blessed. Like, I literally sat for my NCLEX on February 6th, found out 2 days later, February 8th, that I passed, and I was able to secure a job literally a month later. Like, I'm just super, like, I'm just grateful. I'm really just grateful and just blessed. And also my birthday is this week, so March 7th. So this is like a perfect like early birthday type of thing. Like even though I'll be working, but and I'm hired as overnight. So all my overnight nurses, please give me some tips, cause your girl about to be stressed out. Like my hair go like I'm gonna be looking crazy overnight shift. Like I'm gonna have to find a routine, some melatonin, something like something to kind of keep me looking alive and not look too crazy. So if you guys have any tips, let me know, help your new fellow overnight nurse out. So I'll be a med surge also. So if you guys are questioning, so I'm in med surge basic, but a lot of people are afraid of med surge because the nurse to patient ratio could be a little bit higher. I think the hospital that I'm at, I believe the ratio is 1 to 6. I want to say. So I'll do a video, on that. I'll try and do a video on like me with my preceptor and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm on med-surg, so I'll let you guys know about that. So just stay tuned. And if you have any questions, comments, you can leave it down below. Any suggestions with anything, and just let me know. I'm here for you guys, trying to spread love, spread, the godly love, and spread awareness, experiences, especially coming from a person of color, just my experience. And yeah, so thanks guys, thanks for watching.